This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is, Monday, August 22nd, 23rd, 2016, and the title of this rant will be The Water Next Time, from Dr. Paul Krugman's article on the New York Times of the same date. Really not sure what he means by that. Maybe it's a metaphor, maybe it's a soliloquy, I don't know. But basically it's about our friends on the Republican side and global climate change and their denial of global climate change. Now, in addiction circles, we always refer to denial as not being a river in Egypt. So last week, near around the city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, tremendous amount of rainfall came down, biblical proportions. And of course, I believe 80,000 people had to leave their homes. A lot of people lost everything. A number of lives have been lost. It wasn't on the radar, so to speak, meaning it wasn't like Katrina, where we knew it was coming and people had to brace and people had to move and all that other stuff. This sort of just came around and just sort of stayed and just kept on enveloping itself and continuing to rain. And just the other day, our good friend Donald Trump, the Republican nominee, went down there for a photo op, handed out a couple boxes. One of them was with the Play-Doh, and that's basically his response to the whole thing, because he went there before Obama went there, even though the governor of Louisiana encouraged Obama not to go there because the amount of resources that it would have to be moved away from actually helping people would have to be there to help Obama in his security. So I think Obama's going down tomorrow. But let's remember something. The response that's going on right now in Louisiana is so much greater than the response that Bush put through after Katrina. Now remember, it was 3 or 4 days after Katrina. They kept on saying that the walls hadn't been breached, blah, blah, and all that stuff had actually happened. It was tough getting in there. And Bush was basically living in his fantasy land like he always does. His subordinates had to put together a CD and show it to him so he could fully understand what was really going on. But as it went out, he went out to LA, he did some fundraisers, he went on the way home, he stopped by John McCain, had a birthday party for John McCain, and of course there was that famous picture with Bush looking out, because the plane sort of dipped low down as it went over New Orleans, and Bush got a look at it. And you could, don't know why Karl Rove and the Republicans let that picture out, but it just showed someone who is not in touch with what was really going on. He was detached from the whole thing because he was looking from above, like he didn't have any idea what was going on. Just like what had happened when he was reading My Pet Goat on September 11th. But what we do know is that global climate change is real, and we need to make decisions as to what can be done to help circumvent that, to work against it, to try and make a play against it. And one thing that we know is Trump is not alone. Trump and every other Republican candidate, we're in lockstep with Trump in terms of global climate change denial. And of course, industry is moving on, okay? The rest of the world is moving on. The only thing that is holding back tremendous progress towards addressing this global climate change is our friends in the GOP. Dude, that's all they seem to want to do, is to just create a firewall, to protect them from admitting that global climate change is real. And Dr. Krugman points on that industry has moved so far past it, is that we have made such progress, and dramatic progress, in terms of renewables, in terms of wind power, in terms of solar power, in terms of geothermal power, in terms of wave power, in terms of being a battery capacity, let's just say. Tremendous strides in all of that. Now, and of course, the Republicans are saying, Hillary's trying to get rid of all the coal jobs. Well, the more of the coal stays in the ground right now, the better, because it is the dirtiest and most obnoxious and most pollution emitter energy source that we have right now. And of course, there are about only 60,000 coal jobs that are left. And of course, Hillary had also said, very dramatically, we need to help those people. We need to get them out of those jobs and get them into other jobs. We need to rebuild that whole area of Appalachia. Maybe it can become, a sanctuary where people can go, get in touch with nature, and these jobs, other good jobs, can be created in that area. Tour guides, fishing guides, hunting guides, that type of a thing. And of course, but didn't Trump basically say he's going to get coal jobs returned to West Virginia? And that's never going to happen, because industry has already moved on about this. So let's rebuild a lap shop. But what we need is leadership on the part of the United States. As I said, the rest of the world is moving on. Industry is moving on. We need dramatic, decisive leadership at the top in terms of being presidential, and global climate change could be the most dramatic time in terms of making headway into addressing it, so that not our grandchildren, but our great-grandchildren, etc., will not be as dramatically affected by it as it would be if we had Trump in the election. Because we've seen the dramatic effects of global climate change, especially in Alaska. And we know that, Miami's only a couple feet above sea level. It's not going to take 20 or 30 years with doing nothing about it, that shit's going to rise, and rise quickly. And remember, the types of rainstorms that we've had, where we've had rainstorms where they used to say, oh, that was once in a millennium rainstorm that we just had. Well, we seem to be having more and more of those, or once in a 500-year rainstorm, or once in a 100-year. They seem to be commonplace right now, which is showing that it's not showing up every single day in every single place. But the number of once in a millennium rainstorms we've had in an area has increased, or the 500 once in 500 years. And it's got to stop. And the United States can take the dramatic leadership that is necessary to address this. And Donald Trump will not do that.